Okay, everybody's gonna read along with me. We're gonna start right here at Miss Lopez. 1, 2, 3. Miss Lopez is planning a treasure hunt for her kindergarten students. She drew a model of the playground on a coordinate plane as shown. She used this model to decide where to place items for the treasure hunt and to determine how to write the treasure hunt instructions. Each grid square represents 1 square yard on the playground. Okay. We're going to use this coordinate plane to figure out where some things are. Let's look at question number 1. Miss Lopez wants to place some beads in the grass halfway between the merry-go-round and the slide. Okay? Underline the word halfway. Now, before we can figure out halfway between the merry-go-round and the slide, we want to figure out how far is it in total between the merry-go-round and the slide. So we want to know this distance right here. Okay? So the very first thing that I would like you to do is to write down the distance formula. Take a few seconds and write down the distance formula. You can pause this right now if you need to. Okay. If you wrote down D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, you are correct. Okay. Now, I want you to find where is the slide located on the coordinate plane. Take a moment to locate the slide on the coordinate plane. Okay. If you wrote down that the slide is located at 3, 2 on the coordinate plane, you are correct. Now take a moment to find merry-go-round on the coordinate plane. If you found the merry-go-round located at 11, 2, you are correct. The merry-go-round is located at 11, 2. Okay. Now, let's refresh our memory on how to calculate distance. We start by writing the formula. We did that. Next, we label the points. Take a moment to label the points 3, 2 and 11, 2 as x1, y1 and x2, y2. Remember that it does not matter which one you label first. Take a moment to do that now. If you labeled either one as x1, y1 or x2, y2, you are correct. For this problem, I will label this one as x1, y1 and this one as x2, y2. Now take a moment to plug in 3, 2 and 11, 2 into the distance formula to calculate the distance. If you are finished calculating the distance, your work should look like this. D equals the square root of 11 minus 3 squared plus 2 minus 2 squared. We'll do everything inside the parentheses. 11 minus 3 is 8 squared. 2 minus 2 is 0 squared. 8 squared is 64. 0 squared is 0. The square root of 64 is 8, which means that the distance between the merry-go-round and slide is equal to 8 units. Okay. So this would be our final answer. If we wrote it in a complete sentence, it would be the distance between the merry-go-round and the slide is 8 units. Okay. Now, we want to know if we're going to place the beads halfway, right here, halfway, then instead of placing them 8 units away from the slide, how many units away would we place it? Go ahead and everybody shout it out. If you shout it out 4 units, you are correct, because half of 8 equals 4. So the beads should be placed 4 units away. Be placed 4 units away. Okay. Now let's look at part C. We want to write the coordinates for the location that is exactly halfway between the merry-go-round and the slide. And we want to graph that point representing the location of the beads on the coordinate plane. We are going to use the counting method to do this. We're going to start at the slide, and then we're going to count 4 units to the right towards the merry-go-round to place the beads. So everybody on your paper, count along with me. We're starting right here at the slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the beads are going to be located. Now let's find where that is on the coordinate plane. This purple dot where beads will be placed is located at 7, 2. We always write the X first and then the Y. The coordinates would be 7, 2. Very good. Now we want to compare the coordinates of the beads to the coordinates of the slide and the merry-go-round. Let's place them all in a row. Let's start with the slide is at 3, 2. The slide is at 3, 2. The beads are at 7, 2, and the merry-go-round is at 11, 2. Merry-go-round is at 11, 2. Okay? Take a moment and turn to the person next to you and ask them this question. What do you notice about these 3 coordinates? Do you see any similarities? Do you see any differences? Is there any way that we could find these numbers in the middle using the other 2 numbers? Take 1 minute to answer that question now. Okay. Now take a minute and have one person from the whole class share out, what did you find that was similar? What did you find that was different? Is there any way that you could find the numbers in the middle using the other 2 numbers? Take a moment to share that now. Okay. A possible response for things that you saw that were similar could be that all of the second numbers are the same. A response for something that was different could be the first numbers are different. And a response for how we could get 7 from using 3 and 11 could be that if we add them together and divide by 2, we would get 7. Good job. You have finished the first page.